Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Writing 101, Week 2. It has been a pleasure to read your personal narratives and to contribute to your conversations on the discussion board. I'm really getting a chance to get to know each of you and understand what your goals and focuses are in terms of your studies and your career, and also just to get an in-depth exploration of an important event in your life through that narrative. I've thoroughly enjoyed that overall. I've been trying to respond to your discussion board postings and give you your grades for that, in addition to your grades and feedback to your narratives as quick as possible. I've been able to get a quick turnaround on most of those within a day. Obviously, there'll be times where there could be more of a delay, but I really want to get you that feedback so that you're able to utilize it on further assignments. So please, when you review your grades, make sure that you check the document that I have includes the feedback, because I post all of my comments on that sidebar, and you can remove those by just clicking resolve, but it's the way that I'll be able to communicate with you and help you to work through the paper and the things that you're doing. So a few things talking about your personal narratives I want to refer to. First of all, just some basic things. That indenting paragraphs is important. I've been seeing some people missing that. So it's very important for all of the work that we'll do with writing, such as the research essay that you'll be doing later and the personal narrative that you'll be working on once again. Next, the thesis statement is so important to your personal narrative and also to your essay later, because it's that key idea, that key theme that's going to kind of pull your paper together overall. Remember that it's the takeaway, the main driving idea that you'll then support in your body paragraphs throughout your paper. So a personal narrative, it'll be like a big lesson that you've learned, a takeaway, a characteristic that you developed in yourself from the story that you're about to tell. And then with your introductory paragraph, you'll want to then follow that up with a little preview of basically what will be in the body paragraph. So kind of like the few characteristics that you'll then expand on during each body paragraph. So for example, if you have a thesis statement about a football coach who was an impactful person in your life and helped you to become a leader, and then you would list in such ways as helping me train to get ready for the season, being part of a team, and proper nutrition methods and things. So then you would explore those three details in the upcoming paragraphs of your paper. Then the concluding paragraph, you'll summarize and kind of do an overall takeaway, reviewing what this narrative was about. So it's something meaningful that the reader will be left with that will be important. In addition to this assignment and others, I strongly encourage you to look at the rubric. It'll outline exactly how you'll be graded on each assignment. And so for these, it's kind of very formally structured. So that's what I'll be following for each of your works that you do. I've posted 3 examples of rubrics for your weekly discussions, the personal narrative at the beginning that we just completed, and then your revised draft that'll come at the end. And with that revised draft, it's going to be much more detailed and more specific and challenging for that revised narrative. So look at those rubrics and it'll get you right in the correct track so you'll be successful on all your students and all your assignments. In addition, talking about the discussion board, really make sure that you have the initial posting by Wednesday and then have that response by Sunday. Depending on what the assignments are for the week, you need to keep track of exactly how many postings you will need to do. For example, for this week, you're going to do 5 postings total. You're going to post your initial research topic by Wednesday, and then you respond by Sunday. You're going to list your 4 resources, the sources that you'll use for your research essay, things you've been kind of researching online. Post that by Wednesday, reply by Sunday. And then finally, you're going to do your week 2 of the Grammar Lab activity. And so for that week 2 assignment, you're then going to respond to someone else and give that feedback to the post they put up as a piece of work from their personal narrative. So that's 5 postings total, and that'll give you full 100% participation credit when you complete that too. In addition, that Grammar Lab, you want to work on that this week, and that will help you further practice those avoiding the run-ons and correcting those fragments within your paper that are so critical. One last thing with the personal narrative, just a big thing to think about. In order to make your personal narratives a little bit more focused and kind of grab the attention of the reader and being a bit more detailed, instead of focusing on multiple events or a long period of time, I recommend really highlighting a specific thing that occurred over maybe a day or a few days or a few weeks, but not a long period of time. The driver's seat paper that you read is a perfect example of that, because with that, it was just focusing on passing his driver's test. But this enables you to go much more in depth in the topic, giving feedback and in depth in the topic, adding maybe quotes, visual information, close details, really describing the action and the events instead of just listing them general throughout the paper. As below this video that I'm posting, I have examples of those rubrics I mentioned, and also example of an APA formatted paper. Look at that to make sure you're following those certain structures of the APA format. You should have a separate title page with like the title, your name and the school. Also in terms of spacing and how to cite sources and things too. It's all outlined in there. And that's what we'll be following in the APA format for all of my assignments throughout the course. So I really look forward to reading your work this week and seeing the different topics coming up for your research paper. Please just be mindful of the due dates and the rubrics to make sure you can be completely successful in this class. I hope you had a great Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I look forward to reading your work this week. Bye.